found?
Oh, Universal
One of the old
Video
signs. Got the whole sign in?
Yeah, just about.
Good. I don't remember where or when this is up. It looks like quite a nice sign. Cone heads, one of my childhood favourites. Got a family with cones for heads. And take you upstairs. By the way, if you have a look at there, it's really empty. It used to be full of DVDs and videos. They're completely empty now, really.
Okay, so how long have you been running Universal Video Shop?
A very long time, believe it or not, just over 23 years now.
23 years?
Yeah, I started in 1988.
Okay.
It was kind of like a hobby, go to a business on video rental and sale. And I was dragged all these years, so I just finished 23 years now.
What made you want to start a video shop?
I would say my love to the movies. Like, I've been watching movies since I was 7, non-stop, all my life. And then one day I thought might as well get into business to make money out of the movies, as well as watching them and enjoy them and give my opinion about them. So this is how it started. But I thought I would take it for 2, 3, 4 years to fulfill this my hobby. But then I've been dragged all these years now, so I just finished 23 years now.
So when you started out, you wanted to maybe keep it quite short term?
I thought it's going to be for a short term. I wasn't planning to stay that long in this business.
Okay.
Yeah.
What's it like working here then? How do you find the job?
Yeah, it's alright. It is probably one of the best jobs I've had, simply because there's not much to do. Like, I know the manager when he works, who is actually my dad, he does a lot because he's selling on Amazon and stuff. But for me, I can just, literally, I've got the internet next to me, it's never too busy, so I can just really surf the internet and just hang out. But I have to admit, it can get really, really boring, because you're here on your own, and 5, 6 hour shifts, even though you've got the internet, there's just nothing to check sometimes on the internet. And so it can get extremely boring. But in general, there's no effort needed for the job at all. I have enjoyed it. I mean, back in the day, I've worked here on and off part-time, maybe 5, 6 years. Throughout college, throughout university, when I came back for holidays, always had this job just waiting for me, which is really handy. But yeah, 5, 6 years ago, it did get really busy. Used to be 2 people working at the same time as well. Now, always on my own, I'll never be any for 2. But yeah, so there used to be co-workers, it was so busy, but now just hang out really.
And you said your dad was the manager or something?
Yeah, Dad's the manager, so it's been easy job for me to get. I've never had to apply or anything. Took a bit of learning for all the equipment and stuff, but when you get a hang of that, it's just easy days.
So first of all, could you just tell us your connection to the video shop?
Okay, well, my dad has run it for 20-something years, and since I was born, I think the video shop opened a few years after I was born, so it's been with me basically my whole life since I've been able to, know what it is and understand it. And I started working here, I think, when I was maybe like 10 or 11, just as a kind of helper. I'd just be coming in, helping my dad, and usually someone else would be working as well. And then through school and uni, whenever I was back, I was working as a sort of normal part-time member of staff. And yeah, it's always been here. As long as I've been around here, I've usually been working every now and then.
Okay.
Sometimes if my dad and the family go away, they usually leave me, with the help of another person just in charge to run it for the week. So varying levels of involvement.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been there since I can remember, pretty much.
And you started working here when you were quite sort of young?
Yeah, I mean, when I was 10 or 11, I don't think I even got paid. I would just come for the fun, like just to be running around fetching like videos as it was then. Yeah, it was just a bit of fun. I really liked getting involved in it. And then maybe around the time I was a bit older, like 14 maybe, that was when I started to actually get paid like a normal member of staff. And I'm not sure exactly when it was that I started being left on my own, maybe 15, 16. But yeah, I've always felt very comfortable here, and even when I was that young, I was just enjoying it. It was just good to be a part of it.
So, I mean, the main reason you kind of enjoyed working here, it was like a fun place to work, I guess.
I found it a lot of fun. Yeah, it's just good to back in the old days when I was that young. That was, as I'm sure you're aware, that was the kind of glory years for the shop when it was really popular. Video rental in general was really popular, and to come in and see it thriving was I did really enjoy working here. As I grew older, I'd say the enjoyment might have gone down a little bit, but still, compared to any other job I think I could get, it's definitely much better. I can't imagine anywhere else that I'd be able to enjoy working as much as here, because obviously you deal with customers when you have to deal with them, that's fine, but the rest of the time, you're sitting down, I used to watch films here. When the internet cafe came in, I stopped a bit because, they'd be sitting around, they probably didn't want to hear a film, but yeah, back in the day I'd watch films, or you got a computer, go on the internet. A lot of the days it's just a case of trying to fill the time, and you can get a lot done sitting at a computer, so it's not too stressful for the most part, and just relaxed.
And I have to introduce you to another friend of Universal Video. Go on, don't be shy. We just have a couple of questions, Emma.
No!
Really short.
No! Please!
Just because it's the only people interviewed, me, Faris and my dad, it's the same family. We wanted somebody on the outside. Please, just two questions. Literally two questions.
No!
Have you enjoyed your time working?
I did!
Okay, say it to the camera, please.
I did!
No, please, just come on.
No!
So yeah, what's it like working for your dad? How do you
Yeah,
find it?
it's really good. No real pressure. Like, I know there's no chance he'll fire me, and it's quite comfortable. He never puts too much pressure on me to do any jobs or anything. I do have some jobs sometimes, but it's quite easy. Very relaxed. And it's nice because I worked in a different video shop for one summer because there wasn't enough hours for me here. Like, I wanted to work full time because he worked so much, there was never that many hours. So I went to a different video shop, and the manager was really quite horrible. Always had you doing something. Even when there's nothing to do, you'll have you cleaning, checking stock, jobs that are not even necessary, but he just wanted to make sure he's paying you, so you have to do something. Whereas my dad, if there's nothing to do, I won't have to do anything. It's a lot more comfortable. What is your favourite memory of working here? So it has to be a long story.
Your dad is a very good boss.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
The best I ever met.
Really? Best
Yeah.
boss?
Yeah.
Oh, really? How come? Like,
I don't know, it's just, he's when he's going to ask you to do something, he's very polite.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
And-
You just respect people.
He respects people.
Yeah.
Okay. And does he give you a lot of work? It's quite easy.
No, not really.
Quite easy.
Yeah.
Okay. And are you going to miss the
Of
video?
course, yeah.
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 What are you going to miss most about it?
DVD, free DVD, I think.
Free, yeah, same as me. Free DVDs as always. Okay, that's good, thank you.
Do you ever get customers asking for like film recommendations?
Definitely.
Do you recommend
yeah.
stuff?
Some of, believe me or not, there's many. If I'm not here, me personally, because they know how I know about the movies, they just go because I give them my honest opinion to avoid this movie or to look at this movie or to see this movie. Yeah, so yeah, they come for recommendation definitely. And this is why some of them they hate like renting or buying online because they don't have the recommendation, and they like the classic way of coming to the shop, talk about the movie, and then talk about it after they see it. Yes, we do.
So they like the kind of personal touch of
Definitely
speaking
yeah.
to someone.
Yes, yeah, definitely.
So what are you up to at the moment?
I'm just going through any DVDs that I might want to keep and that aren't going to be sort of sold to the general public when the big sale goes on. So I'm basically just going through everything we've got, and if there's anything that I'm interested in at all, I've chosen to keep just in case I do want to watch anything in the future.
Cool. And you got a nice big stack of films there, I see.
This pales in comparison to what I've got upstairs already.
Really?
But yeah, there's quite a bit to go through, definitely, and I'd like to just keep as much as I'd like, to be honest.
And what titles have you got there? Have you got some?
I've got Walk the Line on the top here. Joaquin Phoenix has been a big influence on me over the past few months. I've been very into his films. Silence of the Lambs underneath. I think there are just some films that you will end up wanting to watch again in the future, and I just like to have them at home for.
Sure, and these are just a few of your favourites.
Yeah,
so
a few of the
just
favourites,
picking
or
out.
some ones that I haven't seen or that I've heard good things about, that kind of thing. Yeah. So I'd say that I've gone through about a third to a half of what we've got at the moment, and I don't know, there's probably a good 100 or so there already, maybe more. But yeah, just
Cool. And you're just going to work your way through watching them, and
I suppose so. Yeah. Or
cool.
Just,
That's your summer holiday
keep
plans,
going,
and
yeah.
yeah.
Hopefully
Cool,
I'll
man.
get through a lot again. Yeah. I mean, because I've been with the shop for so long, I've just had the opportunity to watch anything that I like really over throughout my life that we've got here. So it's going to be a bit of a change, I think, when that opportunity stops. Like for me, when the shop closes down. But I'd like to keep some as a memento of the past shop as well, I suppose.
What is it about working in a video rental shop that makes it so fun? I mean, why is it so enjoyable?
Yeah, that's a good question. I think it's a relaxed environment. You get to meet some interesting people. As I'm a big fan, I've always been very interested in films. Probably in part thanks to having the shop here and having all these films available to me from such a young age. And the same with the rest of the family. We're all really into our films. So I watch a lot of films, and you get to talk to people about films a lot. A lot of people will come, a lot of customers will come in and ask you about films, and you can have some good discussions, and they can recommend films for you to watch, and so broadening your horizons in that sense as well. And you can recommend stuff to people, and I guess it's kind of a little bit rewarding when you recommend something and then they come back the next day and they're like, "Thanks, that was a really great film. I really enjoyed it." And so you've got that common ground and just a general interest in film. I think that's what's kept it interesting, because you're operating in an interesting environment. And I'm sure if we didn't have the shop, I'd be a regular at my local video shop and be having those kind of conversations with them. So I can see where a lot of the customers are coming from and relate to them in that way.
Yeah. So I mean, with these regular customers, I mean, what are they like? Is there a small group of regulars that you know quite well?
There's about 2 or 3 customers that come in every single day, literally every day, and it's a hard job finding films they haven't seen, because they've seen nearly every single film. I don't know if they're employed or what, but they seem to watch 2 or 3 films a day, and yeah, they always ask for recommendations, and yeah, it's quite tough finding. One guy, John, just has seen everything, and he usually won't get a film without it being recommended to. Every morning, one time I worked in the mornings, which I don't usually, I had to go downstairs, look through all DVDs that he might not have seen, pick about 10 DVDs, have them upstairs waiting for him, so when he gets there he'd have to look through and see if he's seen them. And often 10, 15 films I choose and he's seen them all.
So are there any customers that you know kind of particularly well, or that you have a really sort of friendship
Oh yes,
with?
yeah. There's many of them. Yeah. I mean, I remember one of them, which I never forget. His name is Johnny. He is one of my favorites because he comes more or less every day, and we can go always through the movies, what you've seen yesterday, what he rented, and we talk about it and rate it, and we give it how many points, like we from 0 to 10, and yes, yeah, he's like one good example, but I've got few like that. Honestly, those amount of people, the regular, the one who want to talk about the movie, they are getting less and less, but I still do them.
Do you find you build up quite a good relationship with kind of regular customers?
Yeah, a lot
like
of them,
giving out recommendations and stuff.
Definitely, yeah. A lot of them do. I do have good relationships with a lot of them, and it's usually starts with some film chat and talking about a few films, but a lot of them have connections either with my dad, they'll know I'm his son, or connections with other parts of my family, and it's not always just about the films. Like some of them will chat for ages about other things, just about asking me about life, like studying and so forth, and yeah, a lot of them are really friendly, and that's one side I will miss about working here, because yeah, we've get on really well with some of them.
Yeah.
I guess it's just a sign of the technology and stuff that's around nowadays. Even the regulars aren't as regular as they once were, but there's not really too much we can do about that.
Costing like £1 to lift this time.
He's coming with one, because he said with one. This or this? There's two.
So you can choose one of
I
them.
think he will take this. Almost 90% of it. But this is the bad place. This is the storage area. We put here anything which we don't want. Fridges, old videos, stuff, Christmas tree if you want to see here behind you. Do you remember this Christmas tree?
Yeah, I had
Yeah,
it
far
at uni.
from me, yeah. So, there you go.
But I found a frosted Scandinavian pine Christmas tree just tucked away in the storage area. Some crazy stuff in this room. I can feel cobwebs across my leg as I'm walking. It's quite unnerving actually. Hundreds of records, music records. Hundreds of them. Bananarama, Ananimo, Help, Comic Relief. There's literally about 100.
Got loads of vinyl down there.
Yeah, loads, like about 100. Phones, fax machine, boxes. Oh, I think all these videos had like a little problem with them, that's why they're all down here, that's what I've heard. But there was definitely reportings of a ghost in the video shop. MA thinks she's seen him, my dad's experienced him.
What happens? What's the...
This is from what I've heard. MA says sometimes she's upstairs after she's closed all the lights and stuff, and she can just hear noises downstairs. Just noises, and she thinks there's a ghost. And then my dad actually's got quite a funny story. It's quite long, if I say it, it's quite long.
Oh yeah, go for it, yeah.
So basically my dad said one time he was looking for a film that was, I think it was broken. There's like a scratch that made a scene, like a 2-minute scene, just you couldn't show it. And so he had to, what he did in the bathroom, he put all the CDs the other way around so you can see the CDs as like little mirrors. So he covered the wall with about 50 to 100 of them. And one day he wanted to see this film, it was Sexy Beast, the film. And he wanted to see it and he thought, I've got one scene that doesn't work, so I'll find in the bathroom. Apparently he looked at every single CD, turned it around, couldn't find it. Every single one. He swore he looked at all of them, couldn't find it. Went home, the next morning, on the toilet seat. First of all, the toilet seat was never really usually closed, it was usually just kept open. Toilet seat's closed, and on it face down, so you can see the Sexy Beast sign sitting on the toilet. And he, I mean, some people just say because he's getting old, he just left it there or something. But alternatively, a ghost borrowed it, watched it, and put it there the next day because he found out he was looking for it.
Where would the ghost have watched it though?
Who knows? Maybe in one of the old DVD players down here or something. But my dad swears that he looked at every single one of the DVDs. And the thing is, even if the toilet seat was randomly closed, it wouldn't fall. The walls are here, the toilet's here. How it could fall, land all the way there, on the side of the Sexy Beast, is just impossible. The only alternative is my dad put it there, not realising, just completely forgot and left it there. But he's 100% certain it didn't happen.
So have you ever had any kind of problematic customers or customers that are quite rude? Or
You know, the internet users, we have plenty of, at least one or two a day. Some people, as I told you before, they are under stress and they pass the stress to us. They don't know how to print. Some of them, for example, we issue a small ticket with a password to enter. So some of them, they spend 10-15 minutes trying to enter. So I go to them and tell them, please, if you cannot enter this password, you cannot use the enter. This is the easy. This is 2 seconds job. I mean, why you are wasting your money and wasting your time? Yeah. So yeah, we've got and people, they pay for 1 hour. They pay £1. Unfortunately, I'm really sad to say that they thought with this £1 they need full service. They want one of us to be with them, to guide them, to make the CV, to make their advert, to make. I mean, please, for £1 you just buy a ticket and just leave me alone. This is what we're telling them. This is why we put few signs to tell everybody about this. One of them says here, please remember our staff here to help you. And we are not tolerate any aggressive, because some of them, they really get aggressive if they don't get full attention from us. Or we put another sign that we are not here, our staff, including myself, we are selling you the time. You go and use your time. But we are not responsible for downloading or helping you to do this. We are busy with something else, but they are expecting for it. Yeah, this has created lots of problem for us. Many people, they thought, so when we don't help, they turn bad against us. And our minimum charge is £1. You can use it for 10 minutes, 15 minutes. So when they leave some time left, they thought this is a rip-off, how we please, yeah. So as I told you, it's a pressure of the life, pressure of the money, and this pressure from them turned to be on us. He said, if it's not color, I don't want it. He said, if it's not color, I don't want it. So what you expect? Colorful,
Picture.
right? You expect? He said either color or I don't want it. So what you expect now? A colorful picture, right?
Yeah.
Or something. This is it. I said, but there's no color.
A bit of orange.
He said, but there's no color anyway. He said, no. Color.
Is it orange?
Color? I want it either color or.
That's ridiculous.
I said, but what is the color? He said, no, this color. But this is not.
Tiny bit of orange, tiny bit of blue.
It's a letter.
Yeah.
Why you want the letter in color?
Can't even see the blue.
Where's the blue? There's a blue.
No, I thought that was no, it's black, isn't it? I thought that was
That's
a bit
black.
of blue. No,
That's very
it's
black.
the angle here. It's like
That's very black. So he wants this.
it's just orange.
Yeah. That's
Oh,
okay.
I'd say the internet cafe has brought a different type of customer in, and one that I guess I relate to on a slightly lower level in terms of we don't have those chats, and a lot of them aren't, I don't know, I guess they don't want to be rude, but they're not always the smartest people, and they the internet customers in general, I'd say, were more potentially annoying and more irritating than
You say they're maybe not the smartest people. I mean, could you give an example of why you say that? Maybe.
I mean, internet's a broad thing. You get people from all walks of life. I wouldn't want to generalise, but I mean, you can often spot them a mile away. They'll come in. They'll a simple task such as taking an internet ticket and entering a code to log in. That's something that a lot of them struggle with, and you witness it, you see them struggling with it, and it's, I see it day in, day out, and as soon as I've seen that, you know it's going to be a long hour, because they usually go for an hour, and that's rarely the end of their problems.
It's just the beginning.
Yeah, that's when you know you've got potentially a difficult customer when they can't do that, and then they'll want you to come over, and it'll be as if they've never used a computer before. They'll be like, I want to access my email, can you show me this and that? And essentially it's like they want me to sit with them the whole hour showing them exactly how to do everything, which is just totally unrealistic. I mean, only one person works on the till, as I'm sure you know by now. since it did go downhill, only one person on the till at a time. So they need to be at the till at all times because people are coming, getting tickets, getting prints, and so on. You can't have that. And we have got a sign that explains that to people, that we can't offer them one-on-one assistance, but it doesn't stop them asking. They'll still ask. And so yeah, I guess in general it's the failure to complete simple tasks and them expecting you for a lot of help.
Yeah.
That's one of the things that's annoyed me, and I'm sure it's annoyed my dad as well, and anyone else who's worked here will know what I mean.
And do you get any customers ever that kind of shout at you or act aggressively? Have you ever had that happen?
Unfortunately, maybe they didn't mean it, but they shout. For example, from their seats, "Oh, come! Can you come? Here you have." I told everybody, if you want to talk to me, come to me, to my office here. Don't shout at me. I mean, I'm not your waiter. I am here selling you tickets. But some of them, they shout and they want me to come. I used to be very smooth and take it easily, but with the time it starts building up and I reach my limits. Now I'm not, I don't go to help or something unless they come to me politely and they ask me politely. And one of the other problem is closing time. We close here at 9 o'clock. We always finish by 9:30 because they refuse to leave, because they still got a few minutes. They're still downloading something, still something in the middle. Some of the shops, which I know them, they have a system that all the system will shut down while they're in the middle. I didn't want to do that. I thought, no, we are better people. We are nicer to our customers. So I didn't do that. That's cost us many free time. We have to stay here till 9:30, sometimes even more, until they finish completely. They don't listen. We tell them we finish at 9, please 9, we have to leave. We've been here 10 hours, we need to go home. Nobody listens.
You should just turn the power off at the fuse box at night.
Yeah, some of the shops they do that. Yeah, shut all the system. But no, I don't do that. I rather wait, let them go smoothly, and because without this, we've got all these, what do you call it, the aggressive attack. But so if we do that, I will think a war will be. Yeah.
And do you have any kind of funny stories about, I don't know, particular characters or particular funny moments that have happened over the years?
Yeah, there's been a couple. I mean, probably the most memorable customer was this old gentleman. He used to come in. I don't actually know his name. I don't know if I'd want to mention his name for the purposes of this documentary anyway, but he used to come in all the time, and he liked his adult movies.
Okay. Okay.
But he was a very strange character. Like he wouldn't go down, pick out a few boxes and take them to the counter like a normal person. He would usually just come to the counter and just specify a number, usually 3, and that would be the number of adult films he'd want for that day. And I think if you didn't understand what he meant, which I remember some new members of staff came and he would do that, and he'd get a little bit angry.
So he'd just come up to the counter and just say a number and nothing else?
Yeah, just be like 3. He didn't speak very well. He was a little bit incoherent. I think he was a drinker.
Okay.
Maybe during the daytime, because he often smelt a bit of alcohol. And he would often come in, and he like around the time I found him fascinating, and he became known to me and my friends as the Porn King. And often people would ask me about him and what he'd been up to lately, and he'd often have some weird stories. He seemed to be borderline racist in some of the things he said, and I won't repeat any of those things. And just a really weird guy, but yeah, he loved his softcore adult movies.
Okay.
And yeah, there was one day where I was working and I got a phone call, and they said it was the police, and they said they'd apprehended a man, and he had no idea, he had no ID, and he didn't know where he lived, so he claimed, and they had no idea who he was and what was going on. I think it was a drunk or disorderly, but I'm not entirely sure. But they were like, on the phone, the policeman said, all he has on him are these 3 VHSs from your shop. And at that moment, I hadn't clocked who it could be at all. I was like, okay, well, give me one of the numbers off the spine of the tapes, and I can find out who this guy is. So they gave me it, and I entered it, and there and behold, the Pawn Kings membership came up on the screen, which I found very funny at the time.
Yeah.
So I gave them the information.
So what had he been doing? He'd just been really drunk?
I think so. Yeah, they didn't really.
What
tell me.
What time did they call you?
Oh, it was like daytime. It was a daytime.
okay.
The afternoon shift. Maybe like 3 in the afternoon or something.
Yeah.
I don't know what he'd been doing, but he'd been apprehended for reasons
Sure.
unknown.
Have you seen him recently?
Actually, I did see him recently because he hasn't come in for a good 4 or 5 years. I regularly check his account actually just to see if he's been in, but he hasn't been in for a few years. But yeah, the other day I was in Putney and I was outside McDonald's and I saw him sort of staring through the window of McDonald's. And yeah, I saw him there. I took a photo and everything, just
Cool.
just because I haven't seen him for so long.
Yeah,
It's good to know he's still alive.
Still going strong.
I don't think I can't really think of any other stories that, or any characters that are interesting enough.
Well, this guy sounds like a pretty
He was, yeah.
pretty crazy character. I mean,
he rented so many films, and we don't have a big adult selection here. I think even at its peak, it was like no more than a couple of hundred films. But his rental on the memberships, it keeps track of how many films he rent, and I think his is over 2,500.
okay. But you only have 200
he'd seen them all multiple
So he
times.
must have been watching them repeatedly.
Yeah. Oh yeah, he's seen some of them so many times. Like, and I think, as far as I'm aware, to this day, despite the fact he hasn't rented in 4 or 5 years, he's still our all-time highest volume renter ever. So it's pretty impressive what he did.
Deserves some kind of award, man.
I know, yeah. If we had one, he would definitely deserve it.
Yeah.
Okay, so I was saying about the story about the
You went to
sexy.
the toilet. Oh my God.
Just the story about Sexy Beast when it was there.
Oh.
Remember? So apparently the disc. This is just a random disc. It was face up on the toilet seat like that when he came in the morning, and we searched all over, and the toilet seats are usually left open, but it was down, and you see if it was here and it fell. Other side. How it would land perfectly. Even here. Nearly impossible. The light's been broken for a few years.
So what's it been like having a dad who owns a video shop? I mean, how's that?
I think I've always had an advantage really in terms of that I've been able to see any films and like fuel my interest in films, like being in a family where we've always really loved films, gone to the cinema, watched films together, that kind of thing. I think I've always really loved having this opportunity to every now and then come down to the shop, look through like a really wide range of films as well, just look through, choose something and maybe watch it at home with family or with friends or whatever. So it's always been good.
So you're quite a big film fan, you're quite into films?
I am, yeah.
Like...
I think being in this family really, like having this chance to just watch anything that I really like has obviously influenced me into being quite a big film fan. Yeah,
so would you say it's because of the shop, because your dad owns a shop, that's what got you into films? Or
I'd say to an extent it is,
yeah.
I mean, he's always been a big film fan, my dad, and I think that's naturally going to continue down in the family to his children.
Like, film's sort of been through my life. Like I did film at university and in college, and yeah, do know quite a bit about films. Modern day films maybe not so much, because so many come out nowadays.
Would you say that's kind of caused by your dad owning the video shop?
That's
kind of what caused your love of film?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, without my own video shop, I wouldn't have access to so many films, and who knows what I would have studied at university. I might not be into film so much. Like even we've got cinema passes at Cineworld that you pay £15 a month and you can go as much as you want. Like my dad and my brother have got those, I can use it as well. So that's from my dad's love of film, it's just come into me.
And so are there any what are the bonuses of sort of being in a family that owns a video shop? I mean,
just really the opportunity to watch anything that we've got, sharing that with like friends every now and then. I'm sure that they enjoy the advantage of watching films with me, I suppose. Yeah, just having the opportunity as well, just to be here. Really, I've always enjoyed finding new films. Really, just by going through the DVDs, having a look at boxes, reading facts, seeing what takes my interest, and then maybe looking into the films of other actors or directors that they've got on the system.
You must have like quite a few happy memories, sort of the shop. You know, growing up here and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah,
did
like
you share any?
Well,
with them?
it's always been like a second home for me. Like I've always known we've got our house and we've got this video shop, and I've always used it for videos and stuff. It's always nice coming here. We've got nothing to do on a weekend to choose a film. And it's always been nice knowing we've got our own video shop, knowing any film that comes to the cinema, that if I miss it, I don't have to buy it. I can just rent it for free. And I've had the biggest film collection anybody can ever have. So just really happy just that I've had those films available to me my whole life. It's going to be very different when it changes. And
are you going to miss the video shop once it's gone?
I definitely will do. Yeah, I mean, I'll try and keep as much as I've got as I'm going through the films, but I think definitely like a part of my life maybe will close down, I suppose, because it's just always been here since I've been born. I always used to come. I remember like as a child sometimes when I had an inset day at school or whatever, I just come into work with my dad and just hang out and maybe watch a film upstairs. Yeah, I've had good memories here and a lot of good experiences.
Do you have any like particular memories sort of that you can remember of good times in the shop? Or?
As I say, like in the past, as a child, like when both my parents were at work and I have an inset day and I can't really stay at home, just hanging out with my dad here was always good. Yeah, enjoying the atmosphere. I mean, I did a bit of part-time work here with my dad, but I haven't really had the chance to work as much as my two older brothers. But no, definitely I've enjoyed having the shop in my life. Yeah.
What's the best thing about being in a family that owns a video shop?
just the availability of films. Just having that, any film you want basically, any big enough release will have, and I can watch it for as long as I want. Yeah, just that sort of thing. But now, like, if I want to watch a film, I have to buy it on the internet, so I'm just not used to doing it at all. Follow us if you want to tie down. Nobody ever puts their chairs back.
One.
Sandwich box, crisp, pepperami. It's literally disgraceful. Some of the animals that use the shop.
Put them back.
Cleaning just becomes part of the
Put them
job.
back, but upside down. And this is good for you.
Even though there's bins everywhere. It's a second nature for most people putting a chair in, but not these customers.
Is it mostly the internet customers then that leave all the rubbish and stuff?
Oh yeah, well no video customers bring any food or anything in. Video customers, they just eat here, act like it's their home, just disrespectful to it, so not even like their home. Terrible really.
And how's it been over the last 23 years? Has it been good?
I mean, there was a good period in the 80s, in the 90s, those are the best. And after 2000 start, you know, when the technology and the downloading start getting bigger and bigger, so this business starts shrinking. And so the last, I would say, 5-6 years wasn't that brilliant. But before that was acceptable and was brilliant. The first 15 years, let's say, of the business.
And you say after 2000 it kind of stopped being so good. I mean, why was that specifically? What do you think the reason?
Too many reasons. One of the main reasons is the downloading, the technology, the internet. People downloading any movie, brand new, not even open in the cinema. You know, now the talk of the town now, the movie is Harry Potter. Everybody go and queue and book your ticket and things. But I know many people, they came to me to this shop before the film was open and they said to me that they've seen it already in their computer. So it is the downloading which is killed the DVD rental. Definitely the downloading, which is illegal, but people are still doing it. There is no power to stop them. Everybody's still doing it. So that was the main reason. Plus, those people who sell, those from different countries, they buy them from Hong Kong or something, and they sell them for just £1. They are bad quality, but still people buy them. And the DVD itself is a cheap product, not like the VHS. Before, we used to buy it like more than £50 per tape, which was good. Nobody buy them. But now DVD, you go to any news agent, you buy a newspaper and they give you DVD free. It is a cheap product, and so that's another reason for this business to collapse.
Sure. And obviously you can download films both legally and illegally.
Exactly, yeah.
Which would you say affects the sort of rental business more? Is it
illegally, definitely.
the piracy?
Yes, the piracy.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Sure.
yeah. Otherwise, if they pay, maybe they prefer to come here to get their copy clean and brilliant quality. So, but the illegal one, which is a free one, that's the.
So I suppose if people can get something for free, it's
Obviously, yeah, they'll go for it. Yeah, that's what I thought.
You said the enjoyment of the job kind of went down as you got older. I mean, why was that? What was
I think because it got less busy, it became more of a struggle for the business to survive, and seeing that kind of brought a sort of put a dampener on.
Okay, so it was because kind of the sort of industry in general was.
Yeah, I mean, it was a lot quieter. It was a lot quieter.
Yeah.
I think because it's a lot quieter, seeing it quiet all the time, yes, it means, I get more time just to relax and do my own thing. But because it's part of the family business, because the business is suffering, I feel it as well. It's not like I'm working for someone else. If you're working for someone else and you worked here, it would still be probably the best place you could work. And I think because it went downhill, it felt a bit less fun. But I mean, I still enjoyed it definitely more than any other job.
And you mentioned you used to be much busier a few years ago.
Yeah, 5-6 years ago, like no new leases would be available on Fridays and Saturdays because they'll all be rented. We used to get maybe 7-8 copies of each film. I think maybe even longer, like 7-8 years ago, because I worked here when I was 15-16 part-time as well, so maybe about 8 years ago. But we'd get like a big new release, we'd get about 10 copies of, and they would be all gone on the weekend. But now we get 1 copy of nearly every film, maybe we get 2 or 3 copies maximum, and they'll be available on weekends. So yeah, the amount of rentals changed over the last 7-8 years is remarkable. Shocking really, just how different. I mean, it's Sunday now, you came here 7-8 years ago, you wouldn't have to constant interview, there'd be so many customers returning films from Saturday night, even some renting on Sundays.
Why do you think that is? What do you think caused this decline in...
Definitely ever since the start of DVDs, digital media, so the internet as well, so anybody can just make a DVD themselves for so cheap, which was unlike VHS, and we can download films. Even at uni I knew it was easier to get films by downloading, so I even had to do that myself. And it's so quick and easy. It's not, I don't think I value films as much because you can download them now. Because if you actually have a DVD you think it's worth more, and maybe I'll concentrate more on the film. If I download it I can just put it on in the background. And I just don't give the film as much value as it would before. But yeah, it's definitely technology has ruined the film industry really. So even companies like Love Film can work without the internet. So
you think people would rather sort of download a free film, sort of, albeit illegally, than come and rent a physical copy?
Most people would, because you don't have to leave the house by downloading. It just takes a few minutes, and you can just watch without getting out of your seat really. Well, Videoshop you have to return, costs money, and yeah, it's a lot more effort. But there's still some regular customers we have.
And are there any ways in which you've had to kind of diversify the business, over the years?
I mean, after the drop of the DVD rental, I have to start another kind of business to save the show. So that's why I started about five or 6 years ago, the internet cafe, which did good. It was a brilliant idea, and it worked with the DVD rental both ways. Some of the DVD rental members, they come and use the internet cafe, and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's one major issue in the shop. And we start doing things about computers because we are doing internet cafe, like selling those cartridges for printers. And we repair. We have a section of repair laptops. And we have our shop in the online as well. We sell. So there's quite a few things to support the DVD rental.
You mentioned the online shop. That you explain
Like,
that?
you know eBay and Amazon things. We have some our old stuff. We instead of we sell in the shop here some, and the other half we sell them in the online.
Okay.
Mainly those two sites I mentioned.
And out of all those kind of different things you've got into, which has been the most sort of useful or the most effective?
To support the DVD rental, I would say the internet cafe.
Yeah.
Because those we bought them all these. We started with 8 terminals, and because of the big demand, we have to increase to 16. And after a couple of months, so now we have 24 terminals. Lots of people using them for hours, looking for jobs or printing, and it's been very successful internet cafe.
So do you think people mostly come in for the computers and then maybe rent a DVD while they're here, or the other way around?
Some of them, I would say 5% of them, after they come here, they look around and they find some posters, some adverts about movies, they ask about the movie, then they find out how they can join this library. So I would say some percentage of them, they start using the video library, DVD library.
Do you ever get people downloading films on the computers? Have you ever had that?
To be honest with you, I never noticed. I know
Yeah.
people downloading a lot of stuff, but a movie, I'm not sure. Because we sell, these DVD, blank DVD, and many people, they come and buy them from us. So obviously they want to load something, but
Yeah.
I am always far away. I don't want to know what's happening there. But if you tell me, I will say yes, maybe.
Could happen.
Could happen,
Yeah.
easily.
What do you? Are there any things that you think you might have done differently, looking back now in hindsight? Are there any sort of regrets or anything you think?
Not really, no. Everything was done here because it was necessary to be done like that one. If the DVD rental was still good and brilliant, I wouldn't add any other extra business to the shop. No, everything was necessary to be done, and this is how I survived all these years.
As far as why has it gone downhill, is that the question?
Yeah. No, you can go for it.
Other than the industry going down, the internet cafe was definitely an important kind of transition to diversify into not only renting films and having the internet, and I think that's a big reason why we survived for this long.
Give you a card if you're just a surname and address.
Turnbull.
And the address, please.
31 Conway.
Thank you.
Oh, I get this. It's like a library of different things.
It's £2, thank you. Like a film I just rented now, £2 for renting for 2 days, but I'm sure on Amazon you could buy it for £2-3 and keep it. So that's another thing, because DVDs are so cheap to buy. Internet shopping, I think there's no tax on the internet or something that's cheaper to sell on the internet. So other customers think, no, I'm not going to rent it for £80, I'm going to buy it for £3.
Obviously, those customers just then they were quite young. They were just kids.
Yeah,
Basically.
just kids.
Is that the kind of main demographic now? Just kids,
not
or
main.
Is there an age group at all? Or?
Nah, on weekend kids, but maybe kids more often because they obviously don't download. They don't know how to download. Possibly their parents don't know how either, and they just get them to get the kids films. But no, I wouldn't say it's the main demographic. There's no real main demographic. All sorts of customers come in.
Here we have many of our loyal customers regarding the DVD rentals. They are good friends of us, but they are getting less and less. If they used to come twice a week or 3 times a week, they start coming once a week, or some of them once every 2 weeks. Some of them just disappeared completely. I thought they moved or something because I know them all these years. But no, they are still here, but they found their way through the online, rental online, yeah. And the other customers, you know, they come for an hour for internet. They are, I would say, okay, you can tell they are under stress, either looking for a job or not enough money, because we charge here very small amount of money. Just £1 give you up to 1 hour. Believe me, many people, they thought this is too much. This is very expensive. £1, you stay in here for an hour. It's too much. How can that be right? But many people, they thought so, and they try to bargain sometimes, and they said no. I mean, today, lady, she said, I just want it for 5 seconds. I said, well, it is just £1, give you up to 1 hour. She said, no, I just want 5 seconds. I said, I mean, anyway, we don't sell them by seconds. We sell them by hours. Anyway, there is many stories, yeah. But we survived. We are okay. I mean, everybody, you know, we always give big smile, and that's our secret of our success. Everybody is fine with a smile.
So would you say you've got sort of quite a good relationship with some customers? Like if you get some regulars that come in and you have a chat with them and stuff?
Many. Both ways. Either from the DVD rental, we know them like friends. They sometimes they come here just to say hello. That's all. And also of the internet users as well. The internet users, they are kind of not always. They come in a period and they just disappear. Either they are looking for a job, or looking for a holiday, or their printer is broken, or for some reason. So they come for a long period and then they disappear. We get used to this.
You mentioned technology there. Do you think kind of advancements in technology are kind of to blame for people renting DVDs and videos less and less? Or?
I guess maybe technology is the wrong word, but the prominence of the internet and the availability of the ease in which you can download a film, which I've seen firsthand from other people, you know, at uni and stuff. And I don't blame them personally. It is just a lot easier that way. And you know, as a student, you don't have loads of money, so I don't blame people for doing that. But yeah, downloading stuff like Love Film as well, the ability to just get them all a lot cheaper and not have late fees and stuff.
Like the postal DVD service.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously stuff like Sky Box Office, which we've never had a need for, but I'm aware that it brings a lot of the latest stuff.
Yeah.
You can watch it whenever you want in HD and stuff and so forth. So I mean, back in the day when if you wanted to rent a film, the only way you could would be to go to the video shop. We'd have usually a 3 or 6 month window where, first of all, the film wasn't for sale either, so you couldn't just buy it for, you know, if you had more.
Because it would be rental first and then
I mean, that was the glory days. When they took that away, I think that was quite a big hit for us, because now you could rent it for, you know, £3, £3.50, or often you could buy it for not too much more, maybe like £10 to £15 sometimes. And obviously the rental videos the tapes and DVDs that we rented here were rental only ones that you'd have to pay more than you would in a shop kind of thing. You couldn't just buy one for 15 quid in the shop and rent it here. That would be a retail only. So measures like that were taken by the powers that be in the industry who decided those things. That also had quite a negative effect on the business, naturally making our costs higher and giving people another option. So it wasn't just the internet and other things.
So rental copies weren't always more expensive than normal copies?
They were more expensive.
Okay,
yeah, as far as I remember we were getting videotapes that were costing like 40-50 quid per unit just for one copy of a video.
And that's what justified the kind of pre-release to the normal release.
Well, yeah, and that time,
and then when they took that away, then that.
But then they still were charging those prices beyond that. So yeah, it did justify it back then, because we'd get a copy and we'd expect it to be rented. You know, I don't know exactly what numbers, but you know, in the first few weeks, a good 20-30 times.
Because that was the only way people could actually get the film.
And it'd make its money back. And I always remember finding it fascinating how you know, we'd order, how it'd be decided how many copies of each film we'd order. And I guess one way I noticed that the industry was going down was in terms of the numbers of copies of the newest films we were getting. I remember back in the day getting something like 15-20 copies of a new film, and not only that, but on a Friday or Saturday night they'd all be out, you know, and we'd have people asking for it. We'd have to say, sorry, you know, there are like 5 or 6 due back later. you can reserve it and so forth. But yeah, that was back in the glory years. But now, well, I saw it slowly decline over time, and then suddenly we were getting a lot less, and towards the end, getting like 3 or 4 copies, that was a large amount, and I suppose that's really indicative of how it's gone down. But, I always found it interesting to see how many we'd get of each film, and that was a time when I was very young, so I didn't really get to have any input in that. But I remember when the list of films for the next month would come out, I'd always be very keen to see it and see what's coming and how many we're getting. And obviously we had more branches back in the day as well. We had 4 at its peak.
Okay.
So you'd have the list of all the branches and how many copies they were getting.
And you could see which ones were getting most copies.
Exactly.
Of what.
You could also see how each branch was kind of performing in a way. I mean, some of them were smaller than others.
Where were the other branches?
Well, Sheen, Barnes, and Worcester Park. Worcester Park was the last one to open, and I think the first one to shut as well. That was it was probably just a bad time to start that new business. But I even remember working there a bit, and it did all right for a little while. But that was around the time that things started to go bad in the industry.
Downloads and stuff.
So it was just bad timing. That one, I remember that one being reasonably busy at the time. But I mean, as we're the last one to survive, and I think we have done well to survive this long.
Definitely. Surely though, video shops get titles sooner than just general sale.
I know it used to be, definitely, but I think now a few films maybe a couple of weeks earlier. I'm the wrong person to ask for this, but I know Blockbuster sometimes buy exclusives. Like for example the film Lincoln Lawyer, I think on the chart it said it's out on the 11th of July 1st, but I'm pretty sure Blockbuster bought exclusive rights so they can have it a week or 2 weeks before us. But that's obviously because they're a lot richer, they can afford to do things like that.
Could Universal Video, have they ever done that sort of deal?
No, I think you need to order thousands and thousands of the film, but obviously we're ordering 3 or 4 maximum. But yeah, I think nowadays most films, the day they're released for rent or the day they're released to buy as well. There's few exceptions nowadays. But no, I think in the olden days, VHS and stuff, some films were released 8 weeks before, 2 months on video before you could buy it. But they used to cost ridiculous amounts. I remember seeing a copy of Predator. Is it Arnold Schwarzenegger?
Terminator maybe?
No, Predator.
Predator.
I think Schwarzenegger. I remember seeing it had a price thing of £80, $79.99, that he was bought for that much.
£80?
£80.
For a video?
Yeah, this was obviously 20 years ago.
Wow.
Because I know it wouldn't, I think it said, I'm not sure, it might have said the date it was released and it was a good 2 months before it was available to buy. So people, if they wanted to see Predator, no internet obviously, the only way they could do is come to the video shop, because it's not in the cinemas anymore.
For £80? It's unbelievable.
And I think that was more expensive than most of them, but I think it's usually 50,
But
60
not
pounds.
even these days, not even like a Blu-ray DVD would cost anywhere
No,
near
no,
that.
I know. But I don't know if you know, but rental copies of DVDs are actually more expensive than non-rental.
I didn't know.
DVDs, if you buy a DVD, most of them will say not rental copy. Like if you want that Tall Dark Stranger, do you want to take it off the shelf? And this says rental copy in it, and that will be more expensive than to buy in the shops. Rental copy, that copy is going to be a lot more expensive. I think about £30, whereas if you buy it just to watch, it's going to be about 15-20 max on the first day release. And it's sort of just cheating how the companies can do that. Maybe in the olden days when videos weren't available, if that was available to rent way before it was available to buy, I'd understand it. But it's just unbelievable now. Why we have to pay more.
It's kind of a system that's been kept over from the old days.
Yeah, exactly.
When rental copies would come out earlier, and
they're a lot
because it's beneficial to the studios. Obviously, they just keep doing it.
Exactly. But now they just kept. But it's just unbelievable because you can buy it to watch cheaper earlier. It's just because they know we're going to be making a bit of money off it. So it's just sort of ridiculous.
Is that quite a strict law as well? I mean, obviously, if you didn't have rental copies on the shelves, obviously that wouldn't be.
The non-rental copies say this is not for rent, and they've probably got a phone number somewhere that if somebody rents it, and they just think, well, why they're doing this. They could phone up and you could get in a lot of trouble. So I mean, it's not companies, the bigger companies that sell the videos are not making it easy. This has all started as a big saga with, I think it was Warner Brothers Videos, that started to charge more but charged the public less about 6-7 years ago, when DVDs were finally getting really big, and that just changed everything. I mean, again, I don't really know the details, but from working here I gathered some information. But I think it was Warner Brothers, I can't be sure, that were the first ones that did that, and the other companies followed.
Yeah, so I mean, have you been kind of coming here sort of recently, or has it tailed off? Or?
A bit less actually, partly because of probably recording more stuff, you know, with digital TV, recording more stuff off TV, that kind of thing, yeah. And being able to also get films on TV.
Yeah, sure.
Film 4 and everything like that.
Yeah,
so
a lot of channels like show films and stuff now.
So I've been coming a bit less, yeah.
Okay. And I mean, what's your prediction for the future as far as video rental shops go?
I think they will disappear with this online renting and online like downloading, legal and illegal. That's killing everybody. I don't think at the moment there's only one big chain surviving with difficulties. I'm sure of that. And how long they will last, I don't know. But I know there's a problem with the renting TV.
You're going to miss it then, right?
Yeah, I will. Shop. I mean, I've been very for closing the shop down because I know it's not making any money anymore. Like yesterday, Saturday night, the boss said it was the worst Saturday he's ever had, and this is the last Saturday rental will be available. And it's just, there's no point of keeping it open. And I am for closing it, but I'll definitely miss it. I mean, if it was making money, I'd love it. I'd be so happy to keep it, but just...
So yeah, and are you sad to kind of see it come to an end? Is it quite hard to...
It is going to be a huge change in my life because this is part of my life. The last 23 years I live just around the corner and this is part of my life, my home. Like first thing I come in the morning, 10 o'clock, I am here for years and years. So it's going to be a huge change. I am sad? Yes, I am sad. I don't know what's going to happen to the future, but I'm going to miss my place here. You know, I get used to it all these years. I remember like my son Ali was only 2 years old or something when this, and my other son, they were not even born. Now they finished universities and things. So it has been a long time, yeah. It is sad, definitely.
You must have a lot of happy memories of kind of working here.
Oh yes, I mean, to be honest with you, whenever I'm here, I'm different person. I am like kind of a maestro between 3 computers. One of them to run the DVD rental, one of them to go to do the internet cafe, and one my online sale and my email and my personal thing. So I love it, you know. I'm very busy. My hours goes just like this, with like a seconds. Yeah, but time pass very quickly. Yeah. Definitely there will be a sadness leaving here. But as my son said to me, you will have a good opportunity to have relaxed time, do something, because I get used to it here. I remember one time, or more than one time actually, my son came here, I said, listen, I'm free, take the day off. And at the beginning I feel so happy about that. Then I go around and automatically I found myself coming back to the shop because just used to it. I love it. I love being here.
Anything you want to add on the end? Anything you'd like to say?
Well, just saying that this is the last day, Sunday the 31st of July, last day people can rent films. From tomorrow is a big clearance sale and we've got a month to close everything down. So yeah, I just thought I'd point that out.
Cool.
And as you've seen, it's been quite quiet. I mean, I have rented 2 films in this interview, which is actually quite a rarity.
sign. This is good. No change of plan, that's it. We're not going to change our mind, yeah? It's very hard though.
So that, yeah. So, as you've just seen, she didn't rent the film, she bought it. £1 for the film to keep, whereas if she rented it would have been £2. Yeah, the sale has started, as I'm sure you're aware, 2 weeks after the first interview. And yeah, everything on the shelves is for sale now. No more rentals, although a few people are renting, as I think you've already heard. Some people paying more to rent than buy, which is pretty crazy. But in general, if people ask can they rent, I'd say no. If you want me to take you round, this is where the new films used to be. Now there's only relatively new films, which maybe in the past year a lot of them have already sold. And again, meant to be newer films, but not really. Here is just everything. And as you can see, 2 weeks in, we've still got hundreds of DVDs, which is unfortunate because we wanted to have sold more probably by now. But to be honest, the way these are stacked here, it was down to all the way the bottom row. So we have sold about this many. Well, no, more to be honest, because there's more stacked. Yeah, I think this and the bottom are stacked as well. So we have sold, I'd say about 500 DVDs, maybe more, but at least 500. But the good way is we can just easily just, if it's looking a bit empty, stack them up with these. And then actually I'll show you something. So get these in the empty spaces, obviously. When this is empty, because there's not many here, you can just put a video face up, doesn't matter which one, get rid of another pile, print some purple in, have them face up, and it just it gives the impact that it's always full. You don't want customers coming in here, seeing the sale sign, coming in and seeing an empty shelf. As long as it looks full, they're going to have a look round and they're probably going to buy something, because there's still hundreds of good films on sale. And there will be for a good time. There's some DVDs that may never sell, just because of what films they are. Like, I'm trying to find an example. Oh, there's Time Cup 2. Jason, I mean, what is this? What is Time Cup 1? You heard of Time Cup 1?
Never heard of it.
So, most people never heard of it. Why did they buy the sequel? But the plan is later on to sell 3 for £5, which will hopefully get rid of the remaining stock. And if we have any remaining stock at the end, we'll just have to sell it, like just keep it and sell it online or something.
So how have the last 2 weeks been then?
Yes, it's just 2 weeks. Yeah, it's gone.
Yeah.
Actually, that was very fast. 2 weeks.
Really?
Well, it's different kind of people start coming and just to saying goodbye. Some people they feel sorry for us. I mean, I don't feel sorry. I thought I've done my job for 23 years, so I'm going in the right time. But it's different. People just buying. Lots of people buying because now we are selling all of our DVDs in a very cheap price. So people, you know, bargain hunters, they are all around the place. And the internet just as normal, not being affected at all. But people are scared because more or less we are the last one who do internet and DVD in the area. So it's kind of, people they found it a bit hard for us to go and nobody else to replace us. But yeah, it was very quickly. Yeah, and fine.
So a lot of people have been coming in saying kind of they're going to miss the shop.
Many, yeah. But the funny thing is they come here to say goodbye and they keep asking why we are going. And when we check their history of using, they haven't been here for the last year or 2 years. And they thought that we would survive even if they are not coming to rent. Yeah, which is a bit strange. But most of our people are nice and kind and we have very good friendship with them. Yeah.
And kind of compared to sort of normal, just renting DVDs, how's it been business-wise?
Business-wise is 10, 20 times more because people are buying, and I didn't know that we have this much of DVDs and videos, thousands and thousands, and I'm selling lots of them every day, and still after 2 weeks, still I've got thousands to go. So the business is much better now. You know, selling all these DVDs, people they pay a very small amount and they just go, so the DVD go too. Funny enough, this is I have to mention. Some people they insist of renting them. Few, still, although it costs them more. It costs them $350 to rent them, but they can buy them for $250. So $250 to keep. $350 you have to take it and bring it back the following, but they go for that.
They always choose to rent it still.
Yes, yeah.
That's
quite
strange.
good. It's strange. I don't know whether some people they don't want to take advantage of us closing down, or they just don't want to keep the DVD. Different people, yeah. But this has happened.
So why would you say it is then that people rent it instead of?
Yeah, maybe they feel guilty or they don't want to take advantage of us selling those DVDs, new ones, and this silly price, so they just want to do it as normal. I think that's the logical answer for this.
So as you see, the main changes so far is with DVDs all here, and now it's just VHS. Which these are the ones that we thought were going to be valuable on Amazon, but it turns out they're not. So we're trying to sell these for £1 each. But yeah, even more empty shelves there. I think they were empty before. And the big dilemma is what we're going to do with all these videos and these, which are all basically worth nothing. Quite a lot of them. Hopefully we don't have to throw them away. We know one guy that seems to be interested who works in Blockbuster, and he said he'd take every single one because he's a bit of a collector. So hopefully he comes through. Possibly we're going to put them all on eBay in just one big listing. Just write like maybe 1,000 films, or maybe we'll count them. But it's going to be, we won't be able to name them all obviously. We'll just say like a massive variety of titles, kids films, adult films, massive collection. And then hopefully we'll get a couple hundred or something for 1,000, make some 20p each, but better than nothing.
And how's it been then over the last 2 weeks, kind of with the sale going on and stuff?
What? The last 2 weeks I haven't actually been in here much at all. I've popped in a couple of times, but I'm still yet to actually do a shift. I do intend to do a couple of shifts, and I think this week coming I'll be doing a few.
Okay.
Which I wanted to do just as the last few shifts, a way of saying goodbye.
Yeah.
The last couple of weeks I haven't really been here working, so I haven't really got a chance to see how the sales going and the 2 DVDs for a £5 and all that. I'm told it's going okay. I've told a lot of people to come in and bought large quantities, like 20, 30 DVDs at a time, which is obviously good. We want to shift them. There's still a lot here, and as you can see, there's a lot of old videos still here. I think they're going to be taken home, I guess. Try and sell them on the internet. It's good. There's a lot of them still here, but it's good to know that we're actually getting rid of a few.
And how do you feel personally about the shop closing?
I'm really sad about it. It hasn't really sunk in too much, but I'm sure once this goes out and the documentary, I'm really glad that you're doing this, because it will be a way of remembering it. And seeing the signs outside, one saying thank you and goodbye, I thought that has the potential to become quite iconic in the future after it is gone. I mean, on a personal level, I'll miss it a lot. I mean, not only for the availability of all the films, which, I always love seeing new films, and there's always a film I want to watch. Having that kind of taken away, it's going to be hard. But yeah, it's always been here, in the day. If I'm in Putney, I can always come visit my dad, have a chat. I'll miss that too. I'm going to miss it a lot.
Do you think you'll manage to sell all of the stock, all the videos and stuff before you close, or do you think you'll have a lot left at the end?
No, I think there's still going to be quite a lot. Just judging from looking at the shelves, I think there will be a fair bit left when we close. But hopefully beyond that, Amazon and so forth, we can sell a few. But yeah, I think even if we were to reduce the price, I'm not sure how people would know. I mean, people would walk past. That's pretty much it. I don't think we've done any advertising in terms of letting local residents know. But, I mean, they've got a month to walk past and see, and they can tell people. Yeah. But yeah, I think there's still going to be a fair bit left at the end.
Because the blue boxes are the ones we still got in stock. The ones turned the other way around have been sold. So as you can see, we sold all these. Many have been sold. And these are the new ones, so this is even less blue boxes remaining. As you see, this is the newest section. There's literally about 5-6 films out of all of these in the new section that are still here. So as you can see, we are selling, but maybe it's slowing down a little bit. First week, the most films somebody bought was 52 films. He spent £130, lives just across the road. Says he just loves collecting DVDs and stuff, and it's so much more cheaper to do that than go out drinking. He even said, I don't know if he's a big spender, but he said, I could rather spend a couple £100 going out or just watch a DVD for £2.50. So I don't know if he actually spends hundreds going out, but it sounded like...
It's quite a big night if he does.
Very big, yeah.
And have you just come in here mainly for the sale today? Or?
Yeah, because Henry came past last week and he said, they're selling off all their DVDs.
Yeah, right.
So we thought we'd come and see. Yeah.
Did you find some good titles? Or?
Yeah, Henry did. Yeah.
What did you pick out, if you don't mind me asking?
Got a film called Cachet.
That's a good one. Yeah,
it's quite a good Hanukkah film apparently. Yeah. I also got There Will Be Blood, which I saw quite a long time ago.
That's good as well. Yeah?
So I needed to.
Good choice, isn't it?
Yeah.
Okay, so are you gonna...
I was going to say, are you going to carry on as an internet cafe, or...?
No, because the internet represents just 10-20% of the main business. No, our main business is the event. Yeah. So this one went slow in the last 6 months, year and a half, maybe because this downloading. To be honest, that's the killer. And HMV was bigger than HMV. Closed down.
That's right. Yeah.
So I mean, I survived 23 years. So I think.
Really?
Yeah. 1988. So we started this business. Yeah.
Because we've lived locally since 1996.
Okay. Yeah. So we've been 8 years. We've been already established when you moved in. Yeah. So I think that's about it. And I'm tired of it. So I thought it's without enough of DVD, enough of movie. I'll go home and download myself.
So the whole thing's going to close down?
I think so.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know when exactly, but we're trying to do it by the end of the month. Get rid of
about Predator. I saw a sticker on it. I told you in the last interview. Well, I found it, and I don't know if you can see that. Wow, £75.
That's incredible. So when this came out, price. What year was this released? Like 80?
We'll have a look. 87 or 88.
88. So video maybe a year later. Oh, the video was released in 88.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's the same year as Videoshop. So this must have been one of the first films.
And let's just get a close up on. 74.95 new. Unbelievable.
No DVD, even massive DVD box set would cost that much, really. I can tell you about another operation going on. Ages ago, the boss, my dad found out which videos he thought were worth selling on Amazon, and he got them in all these boxes, and there were a lot more there, and he had them all on Amazon. And now my job is to revise his listing to see which actually are valuable, which aren't anymore. And so we've thrown hundreds downstairs, and the rest are going to our house because we've only got 2 weeks left, so videos are just in our house at the moment. But that's a long job because also all these ones, these are in alphabetical, all these, that is a job that just feels like it will never end, but it's sort of necessary at the moment.
Are the customers generally sort of quite sad to see that you're closing and stuff?
I would say 99% of them, yes. Because the people who are not sad, they just laugh and go away. They don't have to come and see me. But no, the people who came here, the people who are genuinely sad.
And how are you feeling, kind of personally, about the whole closing down? How have you kind of changed over the last 2 weeks?
I thought it's going to be hard for me, or sad, or one of my friends suggested that I should disappear from here. Somebody else would take over the shop to get rid of everything or do the clearance. But I prefer to stay. I was here when this shop was building up, and let me be here in the last few days of the shop. Yeah, and I'm okay actually. I'm fine. I'm just feel relief. You know, when more DVDs going, and I feel better. And so no, I'm fine. Much better than I thought I would be.
Good. Yeah. Good. Yeah. And are there any plans to kind of extend the opening of how long the shop's open for?
I mean,
or
just because
sticking to the original date.
Yeah, some people I notice they don't want to hear an exact date when we are leaving, so I always leave it open. I just keep telling them by the end of the month. Maybe we extend for a week or two, maybe not. But no, my plan is going ahead to the end of the month. Okay. Yeah, I don't think we will extend. We will be able to finish because they are going fast now, especially. And then we will extend our offer. Now we are selling each 2 DVD for £5. Maybe we'll make it like 3 DVDs for £5.
Okay.
We'll make it
just to shift them a bit quicker.
Shift them a bit quicker.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. How do you feel personally about the closing down and the last 2 weeks? How's it all been?
Quite relieved but anxious at the same time because this is my only job at the moment. I've been meaning to look for jobs properly while I've been working it, but just because it's taken up quite a bit of time, like at least 5-6 hours a day. I know it's not the whole day or anything, I could look for jobs here, but it's just doing this puts me off looking for another job. So after it closes, yeah, I'm going to be properly unemployed, so that won't be good. But apart from that, I'm sort of glad it's coming to an end. Just need to move on from this shop, really. It will be sad as well, but I'm alright about it. A lot of customers, they see the closing out and they think the only ones are those VHS that they're looking at. They think everything else is for rental. And those, 9 times sure this is what these guys think. Can you see those guys? They think that's the sale of £3-4. And then sometimes they turn around and realise it's the DVDs. Sometimes they don't and they'll leave. But I don't know how to make it any clearer because it's
maybe put the VHS downstairs and put DVDs on those shelves.
Could do, but we want to sell them as well.
Hey, ticket for now.
Yeah. Just filming the last day.
Okay. I changed it.
Yeah.
This 5 need to be bigger and thicker.
Any last messages for the camera?
Okay, yeah. It's not very nice. Closing down. Opening up, fantastic. Closing down, I wouldn't recommend it.
What about this film? Look.
Why you say no? No, but calcium boy is sick.
Yeah, calcium's in there. Calcium's funny.
Well, what about evil women? That does quite funny.